President José Manuel Barroso's new European Commission was approved by Parliament this week, receiving 488 votes out of a possible 736. MEPs also voted in favour of a new working agreement with the executive. Expressing the EPP Group's support for the new Commission, its chairman, Joseph Daul, emphasised the need for rapid implementation of the Lisbon Treaty and said the economic crisis should be the first priority of Barroso's new team.
Mesdames et messieurs, dans cette période de mise en jambe du nouveau traité, je sais bien que tout n'est pas possible.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this start-up time of the new treaty, I am well aware that we cannot have everything at once. But we should not give up on ambition. In this spirit, we start the debate of the investiture of the new Commission, a new Commission under the leadership of José Manuel Barroso and with experienced commissioners that is well equipped to tackle European problems. A Commission of which we share the ideals and main orientations, as well as the problems to be expected and how to solve them. A Commission reflecting the results of the 2009 European elections and with its principal political force coming from my political family, the EPP. And finally, a Commission whose main priority is to respond to those Europeans who have been hit by the crisis, often suffering from pessimism and worrying about the quality of their leaders defending and promoting the European social model in the world.
President Barroso agreed with the EPP chairman on the main tasks facing the new Commission.
This is a time for boldness. This is a time to show our citizens that we care and that the entry into force of the Lisbon Treaty will make a real difference in our ability to serve their interests. I believe that our economic and social situation demands a radical shift from the status quo, and the new treaty allows this.
The debate was dominated by discussions on the economic crisis and possible threats to the stability of the euro.
Referring to the economic crisis and the speculative pressure on the euro, President Barroso insisted that the single currency is the main tool of Europe's growth.
What Europe needs to succeed is policies focused on results, better governance structures, and confidence in our ability to solve the problems we face. Our common currency, the euro, will continue to constitute a major tool for our development, and those who think it can be put in question must realize we will stick to our course. The European Union has the necessary framework to address all challenges that can appear in this matter.
At the initiative of the EPP Group and ahead of the EU summit, which takes place today and tomorrow in Brussels, MEPs debated the poor state of the public finances in Greece and other Eurozone countries with large deficits.
In the
past few years, member states have distanced themselves too often from the Stability and Growth Pact. That's why I would like to call on the Council, not only with regard to Greece, to commit itself more substantially to a stronger coordination of monetary policy during the informal summit and next week at the ECOFIN meeting. The Spanish presidency can also set a good example at home because there the situation is really urgent.
Crisis-hit American car maker General Motors has announced plans to shut down its Opel plant in Antwerp. The plant employs 2,600 people, and the decision is a serious blow to the Belgian city. GM's European restructuring plans have sparked controversy as EU governments have been played off against each other in the company's pursuit of state aid.
In Parliament's plenary, Belgian MEP Ivo Belet, a member of the Industry Committee, strongly criticised GM.
In onze ogen is de houding van General Motors in Europa.
The attitude of General Motors is unacceptable. They are expecting to receive state aid from various national and regional governments in the European Union, and they are hoping that public money will offset the social costs of closing the factory in Antwerp.
Mr. Belet warned of protectionism, saying that every government would try to protect domestic industrial production. He put his hope in the European Summit, which has placed strengthened European economic cooperation high on its agenda.
Wij kunnen dit niet toestaan, want dat zou een enorm precedent zijn
We cannot allow this because that would be a huge precedent for other cases in the future. This is protectionism, Mr. Commissioner, that emerges here and there, and that is unacceptable. It undermines the foundations of the European Union, and it is always the smaller ones who are victimized. It is once again proven. Let us, Commissioner, beginning with the auto industry, which is and remains our main industry, a sector that is a true pace setter in economic revival and is also a powerful engine for employment.
Parliament also debated progress in enlargement negotiations with Croatia, Turkey and the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia. The most advanced negotiations are with Croatia, which is expected to join the European Union in 2012.
Croatia is a young democracy and a young country. It's only 30 years old, and it will become the second former Yugoslav country after Slovenia to join the European Union. Now that an agreement has been found on the border dispute between Slovenia and Croatia that blocked Croatian accession negotiations for the better part of 9 months, EU entry is within reach. 2010 has been set as the target year for Croatia to conclude membership negotiations. The level of cross-party agreement and the lack of controversy on this issue among members of Parliament signaled that the process was nearing completion. Bernd Posselt, EPP spokesman on Croatia, warned, however, that we have to remain vigilant on the last hurdles to clear.
I draw the Council's attention to the fact that 3 chapters have not yet been opened. I apply to the Spanish Council representatives to make sure that everything is done to ensure that they are opened during its presidency. Then, if Croatia is judged fairly, negotiations could be concluded this year.
Croatia has traveled a long road to the brink of EU entry. Unlike other countries that already enjoy the rights of EU membership, it has had to overcome a triple challenge: a final cut with its communist past, the creation of an independent state, and victory in an aggressive war. So for many Croats, EU entry feels like coming full circle, like the final recognition of Croatia's sovereign European credentials. But there are still challenges ahead. There has been considerable progress in the fight against corruption, led by the government of Prime Minister Jadranka Kosor, with reforms underway in the areas of judiciary and public administration. The question of cooperation with the International Criminal Tribunal for former Yugoslavia, however, has yet to be resolved. The EPP believes Croatia is on its way to dispelling any hesitations that Serge Bramertz, ICTY chief prosecutor, might have with regard to the country's efforts to deliver on requests from the prosecutor's office. Bernd Posselt is optimistic about the country's future and insists the European Parliament could have the Croatian accession treaty on the table already this year.
Finally, Parliament has rejected a proposed agreement on transferring SWIFT bank data to the United States as part of their counter-terrorism operations. We'll be bringing you an exclusive report on the issue tomorrow. In the meantime, to find out more about debates in the Parliament and our group policies, visit our website eppgroup.eu. Thanks for watching.